Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This is where you get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock. With news, all is not lost for holding the US into big multilateral trade agreements. But first, over the weekend, markets yawned despite the US non-farm payroll report for February showing a higher than expected gain in employment, a lower than expected unemployment rate, a higher than expected participation rate, and a higher than expected rise in wages. Probably the ADP survey had raised expectations in the final days before the release for markets to be impressed. The US dollar hardly moved with the good data, and the US Treasury 10-year yield benchmark actually slipped slightly. Markets have now factored in a full 25 basis points rise in the Fed's benchmark rates due on Thursday. The new US administration is wrestling with its actual position on trade. TPP supporters are gaining ground in a battle for influence inside the White House. Some have called the turf issue a civil war, and Breitbart News does not like the way things are developing. All this has to be a positive development for New Zealand. Outside pressure is building too. The German Chancellor is off to Washington. She is reported to be preparing to push back against the US President's plan for a border adjustment tax. Not only will it break WTO rules, if the Americans do it, Germany says it will tax US companies the same amount in Germany and make any tax the Americans impose on their companies tax deductible in Germany, compensating for any unilateral US actions. Germany is readying lower corporate tax and social contributions to retain its relative position. Australia has an urgent energy crisis with no obvious short-term solutions. It's particularly acute in South Australia, which has set a renewable strategy it can't deliver. Over the weekend, Tesla billionaire Elon Musk has stepped in with an enticing offer to supply mega battery storage solutions. Australian public policy officials are enthralled, although other suppliers have come through with storage offers too. Australia may have its issues, but it's wealthy and attracting wealthy immigrants. A new report out highlights its position, but it also shows New Zealand features as a prime destination for high net worth immigrants as well, suggesting we are attracting 4,000 of these people with $10 million in net worth in 2016. That is less than Australia, the US, the UK and Dubai, but still impressive. The main places high net worth people are escaping are France, China, Brazil, Turkey and India. In New York, the US Treasury 10-year yield is unchanged after the US payrolls report and now at 2.58%. Oil prices are down again over the weekend to just over $48 for the US benchmark, while the Brent benchmark is just over $51 a barrel. Something of a rush to sell oil futures is weighing on oil market pricing. And the gold price is also down and now just under $1,200 a barrel. And the New Zealand dollar held its new lower level on Saturday at 69.2 US cents. On the cross rates, the Kiwi dollar is at 91.7 Aussie cents, and against the euro at 64.9 euro cents. The TWI is at 74.9. And finally, the American securities regulator has turned down an application to list what would have been the first Bitcoin ETF in the US. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.